Time for the hot topics, folks. So this story came out yesterday. It says Lola Marshall Williams, who's a partner of Cabinet Minister Mr. J.C. Hutchinson, has resigned from a company that manages the Holland estate in St. Elizabeth. And it says amid conflict of interest. Mr. Hutchinson, minister without portfolio, said Marshall Williams gave up her role because she did not want an agroeconomic project at Holland to become embroiled in controversy. Well, I kind of think, sir, it's already embroiled in controversy. In a statement, Mr. Hutchinson said, and I quote, "Let me state categorically that I have in no way benefited from the lands of Holland, either directly or indirectly. It was never my intention to derive any benefit from the Holland lands, nor do I have an interest in Holland Producers Limited." Well, it's interesting because it's also revealed that Mr. Hutchinson's son operates a store on the Holland Estate lands. Company's Office of Jamaica records show that Jason Hutchinson is registered as a sole trader of Holland Estate Farm and Garden Supplies, which operates the lands. And of course, Jason is the son of Mr. Hutchinson. Whew. So he initially claimed that the Ministry of Industry, Commerce, Agriculture and Fisheries did not recommend the company. But it gets stranger and stranger. But Marshall Williams, as I said, who is Mr. Hutchinson's partner, has resigned as the director of the company because she did not want the project at Holland, as we said, to be embroiled in controversy. As I always say, more and none. We will hear more about this, I'm sure.
And I think it's really good that, now in Jamaica more than ever, a lot of things are being investigated and being reviewed for total transparency. And that is important when you're in office, that it is transparent. And it doesn't mean when a story hits, just because it hits mean a man corrupt or, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But it is, all things are being investigated. However, what is important to note, that is 2,400 acres of land. Some sections have been earmarked for the Airport Authority of Jamaica and cattle pasture. All I know is that we really need to work on the agricultural sector and agro-processing. And I really hope that the spotlight leads to development for our people to earn and to live.
Yep.
And so we keep following that story. I'm sure you'll hear more on the station. What else is in the hot topics? Outdoor events and amusement parks and sports bars to resume on July 21 for a 2-week trial. That announced by the local government minister, Desmond McKenzie. So July 21 to July 21 to July 31. That's not even 2 weeks,
10
is it?
days, yeah.
And so there's some protocols. No event can be held without a permit. There'll be social distancing, which I like to call physical distancing, because I'm against social distancing. Just want to say that. Mask wearing, sanitizing rules. The events will be subject to strict protocols. So please, people, you have to read about it. No more than 280 people can gather for an event. The bar area is not for chilling, but for purchasing drinks. No gathering allowed at the bar. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, a couple other things. He says no entertainment events are allowed and no more than 60% of the venue must be occupied at any time. Also, nightclubs remain closed under the disaster risk management order. And Empress already said no more than 280 people can gather, but that means a maximum of 250 patrons, he says, and no more than 30 additional production personnel, including performers and staff. There must be visible signs such as tape on floors or other markings to ensure that patrons observe all protocols. Well, it's good news for some folks who would have wanted this. He says masks, if you go to the attractions, the rides, he says masks must be worn by all persons on all rides, and rides that do not allow for seat spacing or for riders to wear masks must remain closed. There you go.
It's a whole new world.
Yep.
I was in Portland for the weekend. I want to pick up my Great Huts team. That's my little spot, right? That's my spot. And it was hard to see the place empty.
You never care, man.
I was thinking to.
But why didn't you?
That's actually my spot, you know. My
Why didn't
other
you
home.
carry me?
And you are welcome to come anytime. Yeah? Just like you're welcome at my house, you're welcome to our other spot.
I've never been told that I'm welcome at your house. I don't even know where you live.
But I'm telling you my Portland address with a lot of African art and
So what I'm to your Kingston address. You know where I'm going to come?
Kingston kind of different. Me carry you go Portland. Never, it's so
like you
funny.
want to last me at
Why
Portland.
is Marvin? What is my camera?
No, because like you want to last me at
Kingston.
Portland. What's the next one? Speaking of Portland.
Speaking of Portland, the mayor of Port Maria, Richard Creary, accepts apology from the Integrity Commission, but says the damage is already done. Yeah. Clear the man name, man. Chop.
Yeah, he says, and I quote, while I accept the apology, I'm still of the view that this mistake should have never taken place and make it seem like I was present in order to enable some corrupt act. I find that disturbing, said Mr. Creary. I cannot see how a basic fact that was missed, but having been missed, has created a lot of damage. He says, based on this report, persons are discussing that because of a report, I'm a corrupt individual. A lot of times when there are such media reports, persons hear it initially, they don't hear the apology or retraction. And the last one.
And Neville, this is very important, you know. You can damage somebody's reputation. That's why you see every time somebody feel like a gas in them want to go tweet something. Every time they see something, they're ready to respond. You see me? I'm the first one to sit back for like 3 weeks until I've done enough reading. I follow the story before I even open my mouth on certain matters. We have to be very careful because you can damage lives. Unless you have all facts in front of you, stop. Every time you get gas, don't mean you have to let it off on Twitter and Facebook.
What you mean by every time you get gas?
Like every time you feel like you want Twitter poop past gas, don't do it.
Okay.
That's not a bad word.
No, I just think you were talking about gas like in the car or
What do you call it?
something.
Flatulence?
Yeah.
Every time you want to have a Twitter flatulence, don't do it.
Okay.
Because you can damage people. But what I'm saying is...
What's the last one?
That's it for the hot topics. This one I'm not even going to bring up because somebody's name has gone viral. And he says on the front page of the Cleaner that he's seeking advice, but I know nothing if the story is real or fake, so I'm not going to drag people's names in the public arena until I get the facts. But there is a minister who's gone viral, and it's very much a very hot gossip topic
I don't know if it's a minister who gone viral.
No, the name. All right, that's the hot topics for today. Still to come, virtual summer camp and the Jamaican film industry gets a green light to roll again. But first, here's News in 5 with Vashon is back and alive. Yeah, Vashon Brown.